This lesson deals with the animating of your PowerPoint presentation. There are two basic types of animation. One is from slide to slide, and we call that transitions. And the other would be called custom animations, and that's the animation within each slide individually. We'll start with the transition. So we're going to go into animation tab here, and whenever you're doing transitions, you can do it from this view. However, I'm accustomed to doing it in slide sort of view. It seems to be a little easier because you're able to select several slides at the same time, much easier this way. So you can set a different transition for each slide. You have several to choose from, and feel free to experiment with several of those. You can also select all of your slides and give them all the same transition. This way your slideshow gets some consistency, and that's not a bad idea. No need to spend any more time on that. You can experiment with all the different types. You can apply sounds. Careful with the sounds. They got rid of a lot of the real annoying one, the screeching brakes and the breaking glass. I've never seen a good presentation that used those sounds, so careful about the use of sound. You may not want to use any sound, and later in this lesson I'll show you how to insert a song to play in different parts of your presentation or throughout the whole presentation, which seems to be a little bit more popular and maybe a little more professional as well. And you're also able to change the speed of your transitions from slide to slide. Now, careful about the speed as well. You're also able to determine whether you want your slideshow to move as you click or after a predetermined period of time that you found to be good. There's a third option. If I go to slideshow here and I go to rehearse timings, this will allow you to click when you think it's time to go to the next slide. So if I click right now, it's going to store that. So the first slide took 8 seconds. In this way, you're able to read through, and maybe even later when we have custom animation, you wait till everything comes in, and then when you feel it's appropriate, you would click your mouse and say, okay, now it's time to go to the next slide. So this is a much more real and realistic way of setting up the timing for your show, providing it's a show that's going to run on its own. You see that in front of stores, in front of banks, type of thing. So it's like a mini movie, really. So whenever I'm clicking, it's storing that for that particular slide. And when I'm done, I'm just going to speed things along here. It's asking, the total time for the show was 47 seconds. Do you want to keep that? And if you say yes now, the next time you run this show, as long as this is selected, that show is going to take exactly the amount of time that I asked it for. And what I'd also be able to do is I can come here to set up show, and I can say yes, I want this to be browsed at a kiosk. And this way it's going to loop continuously. Okay, it's automatically set. So when it ends, it would actually start over again. You see this in open houses and that kind of thing. So that's how you do that. Now, if you're going to use this presentation and give it live, you're going to need to make sure that you remove this, because when you go to run it, it's just going to run and you're going to look kind of silly at the front trying to control it, and it's not going to have any control. So you'll want to set that back so that it's presented by a speaker and that you don't want it to loop. And you'd probably also want to use rehearsed timings. Okay, if you wanted to remove all of these timings, you could probably very easily, I think, select them all and then just deselect this, and now there's no timing set at all. So now it's all going to be up to your clicking of the mouse. So those are the basic features of transitions. Next, we're going to talk about custom animation. And again, I'm accustomed to doing one slide at a time, so I like to go back to normal view for this. Now, there are some real basic predetermined custom animations. Before I go any further, you're able to animate everything on this slide. I could do the title separately, I could do the subtitles separately, and I could do these lists separately. So there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 items on this slide, and they can all be animated separately in a lot of different ways. You can literally spend weeks just animating one presentation. There are so many different features. The basic ones are right here. There are they've determined there's 3 basic animations that you can give, so they put those in there. Okay, so you can choose one of those, or you can ask for the custom animation window, and this will come up. And this allows you now to start animating every slide individually. If you want to animate all of your titles at one time, you would use the master for that. So you can go to View and Slide Master and select the titles and give them some kind of effect. Now, there are 4 types of things to choose from here. One is, how is it going to come in? The other is, once it's in, do I want it to do something? I can make it spin, I can make it do all kinds of things. The other is, I can make it leave. And then I can even determine which path it comes in or leaves on. Many choices. I'm certainly not going to go over all of them in this video. It's for you to experiment with if you choose. So, Slide Master, if you want to animate several things at the same time, you can do that from Slide Master. If you want to do it painstakingly, one at a time, you can also do that. So whatever item you select, you would add the effect. Okay, so let's say I choose an entrance effect, and there are different levels of effects. There's from basic to subtle to moderate to exciting. So now I've just selected a bounce effect for my title, and that's the first thing that's going to happen on this slide. And now if I want to animate my subtitle, I could check, because I just used bounce, I can use it again, so that would look like that. Now you're able to, if you wanted the subtitle to come in first, you'd be able to change the order of this so that that would come in first and then this would come in second, and anytime you want to preview, you can hit play here and it'll preview how this is going to look. As far as these lists are concerned, when you animate a list like this, let's say I animate that to come in as well, it's automatically set so that it comes in one item at a time. However, with almost all of these items, you have choices. So from this menu, from this Effect Options menu, you have several choices here. Now, the first, not the first, but one of the basic ones is Animate Text. Here, I'm having each line come in all at once. If you really want to add effect, you can have it come in word by word, and if you want it to be really annoying, you can have it come in letter by letter. All right, I don't know that you'd use that very often unless you're bringing in just one word. You can, so now it's set so that one line comes in at a time, and it's even numbered here, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. You could, if you wanted to, though, have the whole bulleted list come in at the same time, like that. Okay, so now the whole list would come in. So many options as far as how fast you want this to come in. Again, with sound, be careful. It's not on the basic list, but if I wanted this to come in with sound, I would be able to come back here and I'd be able to apply a sound, either one of theirs, or I'd be able to download some kind of sound from the internet and add that to my list. I guess more popular than adding sound these days is the ability to put a song in your presentation, or several songs depending on what it is you're introducing or what it is you're talking about. So you would simply go to the slide where you want the song to start, and you'd go to Insert, and you'd go to Sound, and then providing you have that file somewhere on your machine, on your computer. So here I know that I do, so I'm going to go here and I'm going to find the song that I want, and I'll hit OK. Now as soon as I do this, it's asking, how do you want your sound to start? Do you want it automatically? Then I'm going to say sure, but you can also do when clicked. So now you get this little picture here, which I'll show you how to hide later. Okay, you can actually click and drag it up here, and that will effectively hide it. It'll still run. So now this song is going to start third. If I want this to start first, I can drag that up. So as soon as I start this presentation, this song will start. Now, a couple more options about the song. You can determine when it starts, but you can also determine when it stops. So if it makes sense for this song to stop after the 4th slide, I would say after the 4th slide. If I wanted to run for the whole presentation, well, I know I have 8 slides, so I'd say you just run all the way to the end. Okay, so you determine, and you'd be able to, let's say, make this one end after 4, and then start a different song when you get to 5, because it's a different theme. So now when I run this, the first thing that should load is my song. So those are the fast, easy features on animating. There's the transitions from slide to slide, and then several different things that you can do to every element of every slide using custom animations. So you simply select what it is you want to animate, find the effect that you want, speed, sound, everything you need.